guiding light is all I know. Through wood and steel, through fire and lace, I'm blessed to walk within your grace. You laid the path before me, you guided every step. Raise the hammer, string the bow, her gift is all I need to know. Through toil and trial, through heart and hand, her grace builds up this mighty land. Is the grass the dead time it's sure, to find it empty, our cry is steer. By the grace of the goddess we are free, we'll build the land, our hearts within. From dawn till dusk, I work, I strive. With your blessing, I'll survive. The loom, the forge, the sword, the grain in your name, I rise again. Futsa and Nirt, Futsa and Chiel, got Bua, got Tolan, got Trio. In you lies strength, in you lies skill, each victory, each talent, each trial. Great, no skill too small. Your gifts, dear goddess, guide us all. Dandusiolas, milatruar, Ahleduline, fade our nights into falls. Without your light, we have no guide, but with your hand, our place abide. String the bow, her gift is all I need to know. Through toil and trial, through heart and hand, her grace builds up this mighty land. Is the grass the dead time it's sore, to find it and tear, our greatest deed. By the grace of the goddess we are free, we'll build the land, our hearts within. To walk within your grace, blessed by her grace, forever, forever.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Pax Dei, Search for Steel. It's been a day. It's been a couple days, work and all. So we'll jump right into it. What we got going on right now is I've been doing some housekeeping. I haven't played in a couple days at all. So, yeah. It's unfortunate, but that's what happens when you need to pay the bills. So what we do, I found a couple inconsistencies in the beta, which is fine. Or the alpha, or what do we call this? Early access. Nothing egregious, but enough that I had to expend some material costs, which is, like I said, nothing egregious. With all that said, just doing some housekeeping here at the beginning. We got another series episode coming, Series 3, Critical Thinking. So let's see, this is episode 96, and we're looking at philosophy, leadership, and life. A journey through time. And I'm Daniel, Emperor's. My avatar is Ampere. This is, like I said, the third episode in this series. And we will get into discussion here in a second. let me put this stuff away, get my archery stuff, because we're hunting tonight as we go through the critical thinking of and philosophy that you can apply to life and game, and of course work. Let's see if I have the right food. Yeah, I have to do this. Don't need any armor. Fine there. We will. Hunting. So let's use this one. I'll definitely use my two-handed spear for bear. I'll use some stamina potion. Definitely use some healing potion just in case. I want to maximize my carrying capabilities, so I don't want to take too much. But I do want the amount of weapons and armor that would be productive. You know what? I'm going to go with the... I really need to increase that mace, so that's what I'm going to do. I want to take this axe along with me too, so I'm going to increase that as well. Yeah, that should do this. I just need arrows, and we will begin our conversation here. Welcome, and thanks for joining us. I know for some of you, this is new to the channel. I'm doing a series right now that will go through wisdom. I call it the wisdom series. And we'll have fun with it, I suppose. I would hope. Let me grab some food. And sit back, relax. Enjoy the information, and hopefully I entertain you with the folly I'm about to pursue tonight. Oh boy. Yeah, do you see the avatar it's lag, it's all lag. No, that's all me. I am not up to par tonight. I did increase my leather working, so there is a lot to be said about that. We get at our hunting grounds in the north, and if you don't know where I am, I'm in Gale. We're here on the very eastern border, right next to the wildlands. And the wildlands have this upper area here that I'm going to hunt in this area. Because crossing this area would be death. Because I do not have the armor nor the ability to cross that area effectively. Alright, so we moved in there. Alright, let's so the goal of this philosophical journey is to connect the philosophical ideas with practical insights in leadership, work, and gaming. So take this information, apply it pretty much to every aspect of your life. I throw gaming in there mostly because I'm playing the game, and I think you'll enjoy making those type of connections as well. Remember, or keep in mind, we don't play for relaxation. But in reality, we should be applying all the things we want to, or we learn in our day-to-day lives. I should have picked up some more potions. That's all right. We'll just break them. I hate wasting potions, but yeah, I'm an alchemist. Is it a waste if I can concoct them very easily? I think the hardest part of the potions is getting the glass so I can make push-ups. All right, so we're diving into the power of reason and critical thinking today. And we make sure things there. And our first contestant for skins is the direwolf. Let's bring it, direwolf. If nobody knows, you back up just a little bit on the direwolf, or any wolf, at any direwolf level, and sometimes you can get them into a pattern, like I'm doing now, where they can't reach you, but you can reach them. And there we go. I was in there for a little too long. There we go. I was trying to do a shield bash, and my keyboard is set just at the right angle where I couldn't do it. Okay. We skin them. We'll lose all the meat because I don't need all the meat. All right, let's grab our conversation. So today, what we really want to do is, in a lot of starting points that I'm going to bring up in this series, is one of the conversation points on a lot of different topics or broad topics like this. People don't bring up the definitions of the words. Really? There we go. So one thing I do like to do is the foundations. So when we define the words, we have a better conversation because we're not jumping all over the place with people thinking that I'm speaking about one thing and there's another actual meaning behind what they're thinking is the meaning behind. I think I was a little close today. Another aspect to the game, pro tip, when you play the game enough, you know patterns, you can determine where things are, and you can just go and harvest. And trust me, you'll want to know the patterns of the animals. You can use any arrow, so if I pick up branches, I can craft them into arrows as well. So if I pick up these branches, I'll be able to craft them into arrows later. Alright, so we define what reason and critical thinking are. So the first thing we're going to do is an objective today. Then we're going to explore the historical roots and the modern applications. We'll connect the concepts to leadership scenarios, workplace strategies, and gaming tactics. So all the definitions will be unpacked. We'll review some research on each, and we'll do some shareable and actionable tips. That way you can use this information practically. And I will pause every once in a while because I have to bite my tongue in order to fight for some reason. Because gaming, I suppose. And to get into a pattern and understand the strategy every once in a while, you should concentrate, right? Like I'm doing now. I'm kind of moving, making a kind of action pack. You don't have to move, but ooh, see, I went in too far and I hit him 3 times. There we go. The whole goal is for me to say I backed up a little too far for him. The whole goal for me right here is to increase my mace. Alright, let's continue. There's some deer up here to the left, so I'm going to be going back up this hill a little bit. not this one. I have to go this way. All right. Anyway, at any rate, so if you want to participate and you're in the chat, by all means, I'll try to look up every once in a while and see that there's a chat waiting for me. So we will do that. There's 3 deer down here. And then I'll start the real big conversation. He's going to be right about there. Yeah, I tried. I tried to be cool and failed. Where'd the other one go? Sometimes their carcass buries into the rock. Yeah, so you can't see it barely. You'll definitely want to practice with a bow. Bows keep other predators at distance, and it's just a much better experience in the game, especially at low level. So keep those in mind while you're playing the game and you're watching me on the pro tips. I encourage note-taking, by the way. And definitely if you don't think this applies to you, great. But I always encourage personal reflection on any of the topics we go over. It's part of the reason why I believe this series is so important. Because as a society, we forget how to do certain things, or we become complacent in the society, in our own society, in our heads, right? And when I came up with this, I was like, you know what? Maybe people forgot, or they just don't remember how. And these type of this series is designed. Really? There we go. I was wondering, man, it's been a while, like a couple days, so I brought 200 arrows. It should be fine, but still, it will get annoying if I keep missing. I think there's a dire wolf down there waiting for me. Dire wolves have really good skins. And there he is. Wow. He got to me before I could block. I didn't think that was gonna happen like that. Yeah, I don't index my videos. I think I should start. However, yeah, it's more of a casual conversation. So if I see you in the chat and or a question, or even after the live, I'll definitely. Really? Wow, I'm off tonight. All right. Let's see. We'll start with the definitions, then we'll explore the philosophical roots, then we'll examine the empirical studies, and by the end of this, we'll see how these apply to real life in gaming. So that's the agenda for today. While you sit back, enjoy the hunting. Is this basically, I need leather. I need leather. And tree branches would be nice too, because I know I'm going to need arrows. The way I've been shooting tonight is horrible. So I'll grab as many branches as I can. Crazy, right? Oh, is that one? There we go. That's better. I didn't bring my axe. I should have brought my axe. It would be so much easier to craft arrows. Old boars, you can't back up from because they're charging. They're a charging animal. So your shield's gonna take the brunt. I brought a shield. I brought two because I don't like throwing away anything that's even low with no durability. So I bring everything. Wondering if I can. No, I can't with. Nope. See what I mean by they're a charging animal? Yeah, not happy. Keep that shield in front of you at all times, a board. I don't think I have another board coming up, so I can actually. I have notes because I do not know everything, and I read from the other screen while I'm playing the game. So you will be hearing some lines that seem very notey, like I'm reading off a prompter. Yeah, and you'd be right. You'd be right. I believe honesty is the best medicine. I didn't think that second shot. I'm just gonna have the. You always give it a go. You know, you never know when you're gonna have the YouTube short moment. Nope, I didn't think so. Okay. All right. So let's get into it. Let's talk about reason first. A lot of people, I don't think they understand what reason is because every time I talk to somebody, they're unreasonable. Not everybody. But I think you get the point. When people don't understand definitions, and definitions are important, we can't just change definitions just because we want to, or what they mean to us. We really need to stick to definitions, and the reason is communication is very important, and communication relies on the ability for someone to use words that both people can understand. And if you don't use a word or have the meaning or align the meanings, I should say, the meanings of those words, then you pretty much don't have a conversation. You have somebody talking in a somewhat recognizable language. And you're not going to understand each other. I will do a series on communication because I think it's that important. I think if you look at a lot of history, well, not a lot, but there's a good amount of history where they'll teleport if they can't get to you. I don't know where he went though. Where the heck did he go? That's a first. He just ran off and disappeared. I'm doing the tree branches because I'm gonna. Did he reset over here? No. Where'd he go? Man, I need that. Can't get nowhere. That kind of sucks. Fours have decent healths, that's why. We'll start with reasons. So we'll define reason so everybody gets comfortable with the definition. Like I said, it's very important to know what the definition of everything is. We don't assume that what we're talking about is the same thing. All right. So reason is the process by which the mind logically arrives at a conclusion based on given premises. So let's look at the type of reasoning we can have. Yeah, I hit him through the small, but I can't. I tell you, sometimes. I was gonna get him on that one, actually. I'll get him when he comes back. I just need these tree branches. Not the raspberry, though. Don't need the raspberry. There he is. The hunting is interesting in the game, by the way. So let's talk reasoning. So we have deductive reasoning, drawing specific conclusions from general premises. So if all leaders who innovate are successful, you are an innovative leader. Then you are likely to succeed. So I'm drawing the specific conclusion from a general premise. If all leaders who innovate are successful, then you are an innovative leader. Then you are likely to succeed. Oh, and you are. Inductive reasoning is inferring general principles from specific observations. After observing multiple successful projects that started with critical analysis, one might infer that critical thinking is a key factor in success. Right? So, one is drawing specific conclusions from general premises. That's the deductive, and then inductive is inferring. So one is drawing and one is inferring. So ancient Greek philosophers like Aristotle's formal logic, he did a lot on this, and reason is the foundation for systematic inquiry. We can conclude that, right? So when we're thinking the components of critical thinking, we're thinking of really three things, right? Let me say the three things and then I'll define them for you. Gotta be other animals here, right? All this forest and no animals. Come on now. I think if I can. I haven't been over this part. That's why I always deviate from my normal path a little bit, just to see if I can find other animals. And of course, always keep an eye on your inventory. I dropped that. I knew I dropped it. Right when I dropped it, I was like, why am I dropping the thing I came for? Okay. Luckily, you can pick up the things you dropped. So, alright. Critical thinking. You have questioning assumptions. First one, question assumptions. Evaluating the evidence and identifying biases. I'll say that one more time so we can really let that sink in. It's so important to do critical thinking. Ooh, this is a bear. And a wolf. Let's see if I can bring the wolf over first. Can't take both at the same time, so we'll just take one at a time. There he is. I'll just take him. Are you kidding me? Both of them? That was not a great start to the combat. Oh, he's a... one of these guys, huh? We call these infinite bears. That wolf really wants to come over here. But what I'll use the infinite bears for is target practice. He really wants to come over. Trying to stay away from him. This is an interesting situation. I've never had this happen before. Oh, they're both infinite. Gotta run. This is a running. I've never had that before. That was interesting. I've never had that happen to me before. Sorry, I had to take a pause because that was just absolutely insane. And I had run out of my food, which doubled up on that. That got sucked. I knew that was going to happen. I knew what direction he was going, and I didn't... We'll just capture him at this point. Let's see, I chase him. Alright. So the three parts of critical thinking. Questioning assumptions, evaluating evidence, and identifying biases. Let's go to questioning assumptions. Always ask, what is the underlying assumptions I am making? What are they? Write down your assumptions, and then when faced with a decision. So if you write them down, it'll be helpful, right? What are your assumptions? Write them down. And that way, you are well prepared, well on your way to, because once you write them down, you can always go back to them. When you don't write them down is when you forget, right? So, or you might have thought of something and you don't pay it any mind. So when you evaluate the evidence, well, you assess the credibility, relevance, and sufficiency of the information. Who did it? Tony, I think it was. He was he did some work developing and measuring critical thinking skills. So if you have an opportunity to look him up, very much worth it. Falcone is how I pronounce it. Fashoni, I don't know. I'll just spell it out for you guys. Let's see. Where are you? Facione. So he did work that was work he on developing and measuring critical thinking skills. So the third component was the identifying the biases, right? Recognize both personal and systematic biases that can distort your reasoning, right? So you look at internally and you're going to look externally or at the source, right? A lot of people bring this up without realizing it's a component of critical thinking. They're like, well, who did the study? Who paid for the study, right? And this is a good question. Where is it because somebody was paid to do a study? Is that a bias, right? Are they looking for specific results? I can bring up the perfect example of eggs. I don't know how long you've been alive, but as long as I can remember, eggs are good for you. Eggs are bad for you. Eggs are good for you. Eggs are bad for you. I mean, yeah, it was annoying. Eggs are the perfect food. I'm very much aware of that. However, depending on who did the study or who promoted the study, like would the Egg Farmers of America, the Association Egg Farmers of America, have a stake in creating a study that biased eggs are good for you, right? And you just look for them. There might not be anything there, but you look for it and you question it. Questioning is the biggest thing, right? I'm gonna lose my shield here, so watch the strategy. Pro tip. Oh, only one came over. This tonight is weird. I'm surprised my shield's lasting. Alright. I thought I'd bring both of them over, and I know my shield wouldn't last with two. Really? Did you see that in the chat? Somebody was trying to walk and run at the same. Well, they were trying to queue. Queue is the. I'm going to let the computer run for me or walk for me automatically, so you don't have to keep hitting W, essentially. And then the W is the move forward. So they must have hit enter beforehand. Really? Tonight is going to be wooden arrows out the butt because I am missing left and right. I use wrought iron arrows. I really shouldn't for deer, honestly. I can take them out with wooden arrows with my level of I can't believe I got that one. That one was wicked. I didn't think I would have got this guy. Oh, there he is. A lot of times you walk through the forest because it's easier. They're lively tonight. in chat. Really? That was annoying. It was horrible. Really? It was like high percentage shot for sure. That's seriously something. I'm found missing. Spectacular. Historic missing. Alright, so you wanna on the third one, as we're going back into the actual lesson, we recognize both personal and systematic biases that can distort the reasoning. And so consider how the confirmation bias might cause one to favor information that supports a pre-existing belief. That's a huge one. Confirmation bias is a big, big deal. Doesn't mean you need to say, I have confirmation bias, therefore I cannot form an opinion. That's what part of critical thinking is, right? Staying out of this biome. Biome is the pale. Pale has all kinds of smoke. I'm telling you, I am horrible tonight. Yeah, confirmation bias is just one of the biases you have to worry about. I highly suggest that you understand which biases are your own and which biases are potential, right? You'll never know for sure. Well, sometimes it's pretty blatant. I guess they're after the what do you call it? The Inquisitors. Hope they're not hunting. That would suck. You gotta get halfway decently close. You don't have to get too close. The longer you hold your bowstring back, by the way, the damage. So they did change that. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? Let's do this. I totally spaced. That's my own piece. Alright, so remember Grace. I'm gonna have to buy more. Let's buy... That'll give me 60. 60's good. Back to Grace. No, yeah. Okay. There we go. Gathering. It's getting healed. There we go. Now it shouldn't take as long. And so I totally spaced today. I'm telling you, you've had one of those weeks. I am definitely having one of those weeks. Maybe I'll hit more. Nah, the grace doesn't give you a hit bonus. It gives you a skinning bonus, though. Alright, let's see what I'm doing. One of them. I let him too much, and then he turns around really quick. Really? Now notice when I do this, you're gonna see the green of skimming. I'm hoping to get more animal hides than anything else. That's the whole purpose of today's venture out here. I'm pretty sure. Oh, really? I'm not gonna miss with that. Ah, so annoying. I was gonna say, are my arrows just not working tonight? This seems really weird. All right, so back to the lesson. Critical thinking, very important. I can critically think through this as well. Mostly, you would use critical thinking to make well-informed decisions, especially out of complexity, right? But I would argue, use it everywhere. When people tell you something, information, like this is good for you. What's their bias? Does it taste good? Is it good for you, like healthy? What about supplements, right? This is great critical thinking is great for supplements because it's snake oil a lot of times. And there's no, I'm not throwing shade. I'm saying some companies take advantage of trends, right? And they're like, oh, we have the most pure, this, whatever the supplement happens to be. And they really take advantage of the consumer. It'll cure everything. And you're like, okay, I'll try it. And it ends up doing more harm than good, right? With AI, especially like LLMs like ChatGPT and Claude 2, Grok 2, these are essential for critical thought. Why do I say that? It's a tool in your toolbox. Wow. How can I be off by that much? Usually it's off by a little bit because you'll see these arrows go to the left, they'll lean left a little bit. Oh, by the way, this is not luck that I'm not picking up anything but the branches. You want to wait and put your pointer, if you see the pointer, here, let me see if I can, you'll see it on the tree there. That's my pointer where I'm pointing. When you see the sphere, or not the sphere, the circle get bigger, that means you're all over the object you want to pick up, if it's interactive. All right. Yeah, AI is a tool. Use it. You have it on your phone now. You really can. You can really do a lot with it now. And critical thinking, as we've already surmised, it's important to understand your biases, but also have the information that you need to interpret, right? As with everything, even AI, you critically think through the information that is being provided, and the way you type the information in the prompt is going to give you biases. So keep that in mind as you're using the tools that I suggest. It's not necessarily an all situation, right? Might as well do this while we're. All right. Let's see. Going on to the philosophical roots of critical thinking. It's important to know where these things came from, right? What makes them so powerful? who thought of it, right? Well, the Socratic method and Plato's influence were two huge foundations for critical thinking and critical thought. So the Socratic method, many of you may have heard of it, many of you may have studied it, may have forgot it. So if this is a reminder, awesome. If this is the first time you're hearing about it, again, this is just great information to have, because this is where we develop these ideas, these tools. Critical thinking is a tool in and of itself, right? I am trying to find the next prey. Ah, there we go. Ah, thing. Let's see if I can get this guy. Still took 2 arrows. I ain't horrible. Absolutely horrible. I'm picking up the tree branches because I'm going through arrows. It's absolutely insane how many arrows I'm going through tonight. All right. Maybe I'll have another episode as well that we was talking anime. So there's a lot of good anime. I enjoy good anime. All right, let's see. So the Socratic method, it's a form of cooperative argumentative dialogue. It uses questioning to stimulate critical thinking. So a way to think about this, the unexamined life is not worth living, is a key quote from the Socrates. Well, how does it work? You ask a series of probing questions to clarify the ideas. Challenge your assumptions and reveal inconsistencies. So you're looking for the assumptions and inconsistencies, right? Yeah, that second one. I shouldn't be doing that because I have limited arrows. Oh my gosh. Seriously? I totally didn't anticipate where it was going to go. I assumed that it would go straight. That was a bad assumption. No need to waste that arrow because I'm just going to send it off into the wilderness. That time I actually got it to lead a little bit. Now let's grab this bear and I'll get back to the Socratic method. I was almost thinking this is an infinite bear. It's not, but I went in a little too deep there. But I used my power move. And I get another power move in about 16 seconds. Watch your cooldown rates on fights with everybody, even bears. Pairs are a little bit easier to do with because you are able to do a little bit more timing. I need to get my weapon smithing up a little bit more so I can actually make a halfway decent weapon. There we go. Alright, back to it. So what's the modern application for this? For the Socratic method? In leadership, using questions to foster open discussion and innovation. That'd be a good application for it, right? As a leader, you want to facilitate the discussions. You don't want to stifle discussion. Asking or encouraging people to ask questions is another aspect of this, right? You don't want them not to ask questions. Huh. That is not cool. He paused just enough for me to try to take it back, but you want to follow the circle, dude. You don't want to look where the arrow's pointing because it's not going to work for it. That is not going to work out for it. All right. So Plato's influence, he used dialogues to explore deeper truths. So the allegory of the cave, which is Plato's, I think, most famous work, is basically a metaphor for moving from ignorance to knowledge. So Plato argued that reason helps us distinguish reality from mere appearance. Think about that for a second. Slight pause. Reason helps us distinguish reality from mere appearance. Application in daily life. How can we use it? Emphasize that understanding the true nature of a problem leads to more ethical and informed decision making. Again, you're distinguishing the reality from the appearance of the goings on. We are seeing this, or have been identifying this in recent memory, a lot more than we once did. And how is that so? Because more and more we have to identify the people who are trying to feed us information it's incomplete, right? How many times have you thought they've given you all the information and you make a moral decision, and you're like, you find out later that they didn't give you all the information and it's not exactly what it appeared to be. It's tiring, and critical thinking will help you make a more informed decision that you can stand on a foundation. Because if somebody asks you why you are taking the stance that you are, you can say, because this, and this, and this. What you can't do is, well, what you shouldn't do. People do it. If somebody asks you why you took a stance, and you're like, oh, and you start getting angry, you didn't really think it through, and your anger is a symptom of your ignorance, right? Is that a bear up there? can't tell. It looks like a bear. Okay. Did we take it? Yeah, let's take it. That's not good. There we go. I don't know why I'm running with my back facing the bear, because I'm defending. Gotta figure that out, or I'm gonna take more damage than I really need to. His spear is great for bears. The axe and spear can block as well. Let's do this. Let's start. Whoop. Man, axes are really slow. No, I knew that was gonna happen. I was like, man, what am I doing? Should be able to do 2 swings when he's doing his headbutt. But only one when he's doing that claw. I think I missed my big... Yeah, I missed my big, Holy crap, man. What a pain in the butt with the axe. Let's not do that. Next time, remind me not to do that. That's crazy. Alright. So... let's look at the framework. Aristotle's logical framework, right? A systematic approach to reasoning that uses I totally space these words. Sigloisms. What is that? Well, all effective strategy, or let's have an example. All effective strategies are based on solid reasoning. My strategy is effective. Therefore, it is based on solid reasoning. When you look at, you want to focus on logical consistency and the necessity of valid premises. The importance of avoiding logical fallacies such as ad hominems or strawmen. If you think about the A equals B, or A equals B equals C, therefore A equals C, right? That's a logic problem. It's done in that way to make it as simple as possible, right? But if we take apart the example that I provide, you have A, which is all effective strategies are based on solid reasoning. B, my strategy is effective, and then C, therefore it is based on solid reasoning. So there, you would have A equals B equals C, right? Doing here. Oh, I know, right? Okay. Oh, that's a boar. Let's go get a boar. All right, here we go. I took my time on that one, and I still messed it up. It's either I'm like lagging somehow. I don't know. Fool, but we don't need to be. put your arrows in a certain order, it will use those arrows from left to right. Pro tip. Keep bear stuff. I'm still kind of the jury's still out on. I'm here for leather. That's I'm really here for. Because they can now make fine leather, which is I'm only here for fine leather, essentially. All right. So, how do we connect this to modern day life? Well, when you look at it, you're looking on how structured deductive reasoning is used in strategic planning and decision making. That's how you want to make the modern connection, right? Practical approach is leaders can model their decision making process on the logical steps to ensure clarity and consistency. There's two ideas there that you as a leader can put into your toolbox, right? I'm in these stone lands. I need to get to that forest right there. This stone land stuff is just boulders, maybe, and not a lot of hunting in the stone lands. Yeah, there's a gray bear. Really? Better wouldn't want to fight it though. Not near those wolves. Huh? You tagged them. I'd rather do 20 right now than work on my axe. We'll work on my axe another day. And I'm kind of putting on a show if somebody comes down this road. Oh, that was my fault. When claw once, you only do one with the claw. Two with the headbutt. I got the reach, so I don't have to be in there with them. Right? There we go. Gray bears are nice because they give you a lot of stuff. Okay. This is going to be a little bit more challenging. There's two iron wolves down there. Maybe if we go down here, we can. That looks like we're up against two wolvers. Let's see how well my shield will hold up. There we go. I needed to get that other boar out of there, so I took a little bit more damage. That's the usefulness of a potion. Alright, that's not a bad yield. I'm here for it. I'm not going to be able to take two dark. Not with the armor I heard. Yeah. Alright, let's go back to it. Taking in the wilderness. So, as leaders, we want to provide these tools to our colleagues and our people who work in our departments, right? The more information, really. I like how it starts the combat music. There's another bear. Golly. I'm really here for the bears. I'd rather converse with you guys. If you have any questions, put them in the chat, comment section. I'll be happy to. All right, let's do the cognitive biases and dual process theory conversation, because it's a component we have to go over, right? Yeah, I'm mostly just again. Should have brought my other spear. I bought a really high grade spear, and it does so much more damage because I'm at level 40 on my spears. Trying to get it done really quick, so kind of using the big. There we go. All right. He didn't die. It was weird. All right. Back to it. So, cognitive bias and dual process theory. What is that? Well, you have the dual process theory. The overview is fairly intuitive. You have system 1 and system 2. Really? So system 1, definitive. Oh, I'm sorry. It's fast, intuitive, often emotional. Instant reactions during heated moments is a system 1 way dual process theory. This is system 2. You're more slow. You're analytical. You're deliberate. Carefully evaluating business proposals before acting. So Daniel Kahneman, he did wrote a book, I think, or did a research paper. Research. Thinking fast and slow, right? Implications for decision making on these. The awareness of the systems can help in activating the more thoughtful system 2 in order to counteract biases. So in your mind, when I said system 1 and 2, and I said system 1 was fast, quick, emotional, more than likely everybody was like, yeah, that's not exactly what I want. I don't want to be fast. I don't want to be emotional. You make a lot more mistakes when you're emotional, right? If you think about every bad decision you made, it's because you didn't think it through. Passion is a good example, right? You don't, when you're in the throes of passion, you don't really think things through. Should you? Yes, absolutely. But passion's one of those causes. There's interesting subjects though, because before you get into that position, you might be thinking about it well in advance, right? So in the moment, it's not necessarily a system 1; it's a system 2. You've already given it thought. I hate these things. And there's another one somewhere too. Where are you? There you are. Come on. Come at me. There we go. There we go. Alright. So we get rid of some of these. What's another good example of System 1 and System 2? And when you put these definitions in some of the, if you assign these systems to your definitions, or to some of your decisions in the past, are you more System 1 or System 2? I can guarantee myself I'm probably System 1 most of my life. Meaning, when I was younger, I was mostly I was mostly System 1. Fine. Man, I am. Is there a lag in the computer tonight? In like the server? Because I'm hitting my normal taps and I'm not getting the. Yeah, I ran? That's weird. Trying to get him to get into his pattern, but he keeps coming up. Am I not doing enough damage to him? There we go. Weird. That was an odd fight. I know I lost my shield mid-fight, but at the same time, not liking that my shield is no more. I'm gonna have to do that. There we go. Oh, wait, hold on. There we go. I still have to skin this game. I'm out here to hunt, and I needed to do that. Alright. So we're some common cognitive biases that I need to mention are confirmation bias, anchoring, and availability heuristic. So when you're looking at the examples, let me do this because I didn't put a real definition on these. Let me use one of the tools because I really want to give you a definition of these. I'm going to go off screen and ask Rock to please define the. Okay, so confirmation bias is a tendency to search for, interpret, favor, and recall information in a way that confirms or support one's prior beliefs or values. People exhibiting this bias often ignore or undervalue evidence that contradicts their belief. And a good example of this is if someone believes that a particular political party is corrupt, they might only pay attention to the news stories or data that confirm the belief while dismissing or not seeking out information that might show the party in a more positive light. Anchoring. Anchoring refers to a common human tendency to rely too heavily on the first piece of information or the anchor offered when they offer this when decision making. So once an anchor is set, other judgments are made by adjusting away from that anchor, which can lead to bias if the anchor is not appropriate. An example in this is negotiations. The first price offered sets the anchor for all subsequent offers. If a car is initially priced at $30,000, even if the car might be worth less, Buyers might still base all their negotiations around the 30,000 figure, rather than a more objective assessment of the value. Availability heuristic. The availability heuristic is a mental shortcut that relies on immediate examples that come to a person's mind when evaluating a specific topic, concept, decision, or event. The frequency of these examples in one's memory, often based on how recent or emotionally charged they are, influences the perceived likelihood or the importance of the event or information. What's a good example? After watching the news reports about an airplane crash, someone might overestimate the risk of air travel because of the vivid, memorable events are more readily recalled than the statistically much larger number of the safe flights. So keep that in mind as you move through these decision-making processes and this critical thinking. All right, let's see. So let's look at some research on critical thinking. I have to watch my time because it is a riveting subject, but I know you're here to watch the game too. Look at these views. Come on. Give a shout out to the developers. They did a great job. Real Engine, I think they're at 5.2. Unreal Engine 5.2. Absolutely stunning views. And I'm in a really weak area of the game, honestly. But look how far you can see as well. Come on. That's some really nice stuff. I live right over there. You can see one of the houses from here. That's on one of the hills. Right in that valley. That's crazy. What a great game. What a great game. All right. So you want to summarize any research from business and psychology journals linking critical thinking training with enhanced leadership performance. So what you want to do when you're looking for research on critical thinking and leadership, you want to focus on those studies. Reference specific studies, meaning those that measure improvements in team decision making or innovation when leaders use reflective questioning. Look up those studies. When leaders actively engage in critical thinking to foster more innovative or resilient teams, is there an increase? Is there a decrease, right? Emphasize embracing critical thinking is practical, right? Research-based backed strategy for leadership success. I'm gonna foot pound this because as we go through the wisdom series, we are looking at and should always rely on reason, critical thinking, decision making. All of these are tools in the toolbox of wisdom. Without these, let me bring up a really good. I can't really fight these guys. I can fight the bear. I can't fight those guys. Well, I can. So I'll just take more damage than needs to happen. There we go. See, that backup was perfect. I want to keep backing them up. That's the strategy, right? Keep backing them up. That way I don't have to deal with those dire wolves while fighting the bear, right? Oh, see, I went in twice with that. That was interesting. I thought I'd get more damage from that inside. Yeah. Oh, I actually backed up out of the way of that. I'm impressed. And you can say I'm lucky on that one. There we go. And I'll show you what I mean by dire wounds and taking damage. I think you picked it up on the last with my axe, but I'll show you a more definitive way. So you gotta take the first one, and then you back up. There we go. And it doesn't look like I'm gonna get 2 swings on this. Yeah, I won't. I'll only get 1 swing every time. It's almost better. Now we'll just do this one. I think the axe is really good for multiple combat. Holy shit. That was like 80 hit points of damage. There we go. That wasn't too bad. I didn't get hurt too badly, so I'll take the next one. But your axe will, for every block you do, you'll take more damage to the durability. Let's see. All right, so let's look at leadership and work, right? Great leaders will use reason to navigate uncertainty and inspire their teams. One of the things that I want to establish here is you're going to want, as a leader, you're going to want to use System 2 leadership, or decision making, I should say. That was not good. I don't know what that shield breaker is, but I don't think on wolves it matters much. That's a quick one. See, that's a quick attack. You can do that really quick. That one, he has to set up a little bit. There we go. Alright. Maybe I'll take more wolves. The wolves give me more of the really good stuff, so I really should do that more often. Alright, let's see. What is this? Wolf? I don't know. I mean, that either. Also, boys here. Alright. So, probing questions in meetings, you want to ask questions that challenge the assumptions and prompt deeper analysis. You want to also establish that during your meetings you ask questions. A lot of people, well, not a lot, but there are some people who will take your asking of questions as a slight. Like, how dare you second guess me? You know what I mean? And that's not exactly why we do it. And you should bring it up prior to that misunderstanding happening as well. Because honestly, That misunderstanding will happen a lot. No? There we go. No? Am I going over them? Oh, crap. There we go. I was like totally not ready for this thing to come out, man. That's alright. Every 30 seconds I can use that big attack. So I'll use the big attack here coming up. So leaders need to establish these, questions, or be very, very well versed in communication, where when you ask the question, you're not seeming like you are you're not challenging the person providing the idea, because you don't want to shut people down, and there is a fine line there. So if you establish beforehand that you're going to ask questions, and those questions are going to be probing, they're not there to dismantle the idea, they're there to challenge the idea. And if the idea is worthy enough, it will survive the challenge. Or if you haven't done enough research and the questions from the challenge need to be answered, then it gives you the opportunity, because now you have questions that you have the opportunity for an answer, right? If more people accepted that type of atmosphere, we would have more innovative designs, we'd have more innovative people, we'd have less process and red tape. There'd be a lot more, I think, just in general, there'd be a lot more people who had a lot less stress. So probing questions are like they're just what you think they are. So they challenge the assumptions and prompt deeper analysis, right? So what does it look like? A good question might be, what data supports our current strategy? Could there be an alternative interpretation? So when you grab data, sometimes we just want to get it done. We want to just move on, right? We have this data and we're like, okay, we're done. We're good. And it's not necessarily a bad thing. We just want to get this data and analyze it really quick, right? Because usually we're on a timeline, right? And if you have a good boss, that timeline could be extended if you provide those questions you're trying to answer. Sometimes a boss or a leader might be like, well, you don't need to answer this. If they do that quickly, they're using system 1, right? You can say, oh, hold on, these are the questions that really should be answered. Well, we don't need to answer them. Okay. So you put those in backup, right, on your analysis. Like, I was not able to answer these questions. At least you will have the questions in writing and available for scrutiny or reinterpretation. Just, hey, did you ask this question? Yeah, here it is in backup. I asked this question, but I was told, don't worry about it right now. We'll figure it out, right? And it's not a bad thing. I'm not saying that you shouldn't listen to your boss, but at the same time, you want your boss to realize that you're not taking things for granted, right? I'm getting to the end here. That's all right. We can go down to the water and across it. There's some animals over on the island that I'll gather. Oh, there's a bear right there. Wow. Tonight, jeez. I am just not. It is not happening. I would love to think that I'm dodging his attacks, but I don't think the combat system's near that fine of a resolution. Wow. I forgot how tough bears are. I have to get my weaponsmithing up. Podcast, this takes forever. Alright, I can't get him, so I need to let's drop some of this stuff. And pick some more of this up. And we'll be needing arrows. Grapes are really useful. I just don't have a use for them. I don't have plenty of grapes in them. Okay. Once I get over to the other side, I'll be fine. I don't have to worry about the Inquisitors. And with 195 on stamina, I can swim pretty far. Yep. You gotta love the physics in this too. It's not bad. It's not great, but it's definitely not bad. You can walk into the water, you see the splashes, you see the reflection. I'm not sure that's ray tracing. I gotta check it out. It might not be ray tracing. I can hit the smallest things and I can't hit a freaking deer. So absolutely insane. My skinning's pretty high too, so I'm actually a much better hunter right now than a majority of people in game because they just joined. Right? Alright, so I'll show you. Well, I already showed you this, so we'll try this again. Wow. Let's get that timing down, right? Doing 16 now, which is nice. I went in. I know. That's alright. You're okay. There we go. Ever since I've learned to fight wolves, it's a lot easier, because I used to have to use my shield a lot, and I relied heavily on my shield, and it was not great. You had to carry like 8 or 9 shields on it, so you just take the brunt of the damage. All right, let's head back to the conversation. So let's see. All right, so that's a probing one of the probing questions. Let's go with data-driven decisions. So you want to emphasize the importance of verifying the information and basing decisions on the evidence. So cite leaders like Steve Jobs, who used critical inquiry to drive innovation, or leadership outcomes. Let's discuss, what you want to look for research showing that rational evidence-based leadership improves team trust and performance. So I encourage you to go find that information in research, because that would be your quantitative studies, and you would look at that, right? As far as your critical thinking, you would you would have to look at the research as well, right? I can't hit a freaking bear. Are you serious? Is it that? Am I that far gone? There. Maybe I'm just not seeing them right? I don't know. They're supposed to do an update in March. I don't think they're doing an update anytime soon, so you won't see any gameplay really improving until then. I was hoping to kill this thing a lot faster than this, but... And then we'll get back to the conversation. Well, while I'm doing this, are there any questions, or do you find this type of information useful? This series is gonna up your game at work, it really will. Hopefully, like I said, if you're a leader and you become a leader that uses this, I believe your people, people you're asking for, different things, the different deliverables will really admire your ability to ask these questions and perhaps even analyze their work in a meaningful way, right? Really? Getting them down to the road. This is crazy. Absolutely insane. I can't believe I got that 2 hits in there, plus a huge thrust. I don't even know what they call it. A jab, I think it's called. There we go. I would like to say this is art, but this is just strategy. Anybody can do that. Alright. Let's pick these up. I don't think I have any animals on me. I don't think. Anyway. So if you're looking at the workplace, you want to, when you're looking at case studies, you want case studies that describe the situation where a team faces a market shift or an unexpected challenge. So ask, what are the assumptions what assumptions underlie your current approach? Analyze the potential alternatives and evaluate evidence for each alternative. One of the things I need to point out is don't make your process so big that you paralyze yourself. Meaning, when you're looking for evidence for alternatives, you want 3, maybe, or determine the amount of evidence that you want to dig into. Meaning, you might have 20 things that you want to look into. Take the top 3. List the 20, but take the top 3. Again, if you're doing a PowerPoint or some type of email put those other assumptions or those pieces of evidence in the back or the bottom of it as a footnote or in backup in PowerPoint terminology. So you want to introduce reflective sessions and brainstorming meetings as well, right? Maybe you want all hands on deck, right? You want all the opinions, and sometimes, depending on where you're getting these opinions, is just as important, if not more important. There we go. Let's see. All right, so encourage your leaders and yourself, especially if you're a leader, right? So what you want to do is you want to set aside time for team reflections and question raising in the work environment, right? Especially on projects or upcoming difficulties or insert difficulty here, right? So in games, let's get some fun in here. In games, like Pax Dei especially, your success is hinging on your ability to reason through strategic scenarios. For example, how to fight a bear. I had to reason through that, right? I had to figure out, critically think through that. If I were to use this weapon, what tactic I need? Is the pattern good for everything? You're challenging the assumption. If I get hit too many times, what happens? Did they put in? Did the developers put in another part of the game where there's certain things that might prohibit me when I get hit, like stuns or something like that, right? So what are the potential moves my opponent makes, right? And then in games especially, you want to know that you have a good idea of development, right? And AI control. Sorry, I should say it is not necessarily AI control, but NPC control. Not all games are created equal, right? So you want to look if you have if you have any uncertainty, you want to use logical deduction to plan several moves ahead. You want to look at it as if you have to parallel it to something, parallel it to the process of strategic military planning, where you need to anticipate the moves of the enemy. Right, it's mission critical. In Pax Dei, you want to anticipate the moves, but you also want to read about moves from the developers, right? How did they program them? Is there any reference in the gaming articles on which way they went with the AI, et cetera, right? So there's ways to determine how they coded it, not precisely how they coded it, but there's ways to determine the ability of the code, right? I forgot I had that. Jeez, tonight is just a series of missteps. Crazy. I'm just holding back magic. All right. So let's do an interactive thought experiment. Imagine you're leading a raid team in a high stakes scenario. What critical question do you ask before proceeding? I mean, there's tons, right? In Pax Dei, let's say it's you're going into the PvP area. Well, what do you need to ask yourselves? How many is in the group? Well, uh, parties can only be 6, right? There can only be 6 party members. So if you have a clan of more than 6, how do you split up your clan? Right? You have healers, you have archers, you have all kinds of different stuff. So keep that in mind with Pax Dei. Pax Dei, you really have a lot of different. I don't think I have any one of these. You have a lot of different configurations for strategy on, especially on parties, especially going into PvP. Like if you spot somebody in PvP, what's the best way of approaching them, right? Because most people, if they see that you have more than one person, will run. And yes, they will. They should, right? I mean, any smart person would be like, well, I'm only one person, and they're like, oh, look, there's 5 people. Let me not get surrounded by these 5 people and die, or that. So, it is the arcade bots. We got that bear. That bear carcass. Bear carcass aren't rare, especially since I can kill them on at will. But you definitely need some bear meat. Alright, let's do that first. You create the animal hide, then you can craft the large animal hide next. Alright. So what would you do researching for the game? Well, you can research on the internet, right? For studies, even. That just decision making under pressure, you know, and look for parallels in the gaming world. A lot of, I want to say, for gaming and even real world, everything that you do for gaming is going to have some effect in your real world. Or we say real world, but you're outside gaming. What's a good word for it? Encounters. Meaning all the studies I read for decision making in high pressure situations, I will definitely carry over into my day to day, and that's great. That is gaming is valuable, right? And I wrote an article on LinkedIn on this. You just because you game doesn't mean it's not valuable in the real world. You can use gaming for that very purpose, right? To expand your horizons. As a matter of fact, I'll do a little personal anecdote here. When I was younger, I started playing D&D. Mom hated it, but because she didn't do it, she didn't apply her critical thinking skills. She was very system 1 on it. But focusing on the point, when I started playing, I started reading. I started reading all kinds of rules, the game rules, all these mythos and mythologies, and I got really familiar with all the mythologies, who the gods were, who the heroes were. You know, Gilgamesh and the Sumerians. I went to the Greek mythology. I went to the Roman mythology. I went to the Indian mythology. All the mythologies that were written down, I got exposure to. Now, they're not actual mythologies. They were close, for sure. But, of course, the writers of the source material took little liberties to make it more game-like. So I took that mythology into my real life, because at the time I was in high school, going into high school, mythology was one of the courses that we would take. Or English had a mythology section. Right? So I want to reinforce that everything we go over in either the wisdom series, the philosophical, you can use in game, and you can use that will bleed over into real life. And any research that you do for the game, especially leadership, communications, for philosophy, critical thinking, I would say apply to real life. Now, I always talk about communications, and there's this YouTuber, Vin Gang, and he's a communications expert. He's brilliant. Follow him. He breaks it down very, very succinctly on communication. So we will be getting into that as well. But all these things I'm researching for the podcast. I researched for the podcast, and I was like, well, what can I do while I'm playing the game? I can talk about stuff. So all these apply to every aspect of your life. All right, let's see. Where am I going? We're almost through the event, but let's finish it off with everyday critical thinking. So we want to remark that critical thinking isn't reserved for boardrooms or gaming. It's a daily habit. Make it a habit. At the end of the day, ask, what decisions did I make today? What assumptions underpinned those decisions? Keep a journal, something that you can reflect on and track insights. As a matter of fact, here's another tool, AI. Come on now. AI, you can put in the conversation if you want. Hey, remember this conversation? I'm going to do critical thinking. Here's what happened in my day. Let's log this, and I'll be making certain assumptions. And you can ask the AI if you've missed anything. Where's your blind spot? Be a neutral observer. You can prompt the AI to do all this, and it's brilliant, right? Today, especially, is I can't express with enough gratitude the amount of tools we have today that you didn't have 20 years ago. So you want to, when you're keeping this journal, you also want to encourage question your routine beliefs. So periodically challenge common assumptions about your life. I do this every day. Why? Why do you do? What's the goal of you doing that every day? What does it accomplish for you? If it accomplishes something, that's great. These are neutral questions. These aren't meant to diminish what you do, nor are they meant to attack you. And one of the things that I think our cultural endeavor could take, or would change the culture back, is just because your question doesn't mean it's an attack. So look for contributing to enhancing your self-awareness and stress reduction, right? Reason can help you do this. You can balance emotions with logic. Explore how mindfulness can be combined with rational analysis to make better decisions. Take that, we were talking about those split-second decisions based off emotions. If you get Wu Wei teaches us, breathe. Just breathe. Don't react. Just breathe. Guarantee whoever is trying to incite an emotional response from you will be, on their heels, because they'll be like, why aren't they reacting the way I thought they would react? Why aren't they taking the bait? And they might not be thinking, why aren't they taking the bait? They might have been launching those exploits or those questions, needling you, right? For a response. They might not have been, if they've been thinking in such a strategic manner. Some people. So what's the benefit? Well, you have increased resilience, you have improved problem-solving skills, and you have more effective personal and professional growth. So set aside regular quote unquote thinking time to review decisions and strategies, both at work and in personal life and in the game. There's one situation in the game where I reviewed it like 100 times and I'm like, wow, I totally screwed that situation up. I was in the PvP area and I saw somebody who was coming at me. All I had to do was fight back. And I was like, nah, I'll just run. He'll get tired of running after me. Nope, he ran after me. I was like, crap. And I died. So what did we talk about today? Well, we talked about reason and critical thinking. We talked about its philosophical roots, the Socratic question, Plato's dialogues, Aristotelian logic. We have empirical evidence that we went through, dual process theory, cognitive bias, leadership studies. Right? We had all of that today. We looked at applications in leadership, the workplace, innovation, and gaming strategy. We have done a lot. We've done a ton. It took me forever to find another button. All right. Should do more hunting. That was. I thought it'd be more all of it. That was horrible. What do we got? Not enough room in here. Okay. Let's get here. Here we go. Got plenty of room here. Let's put this stuff here. Here we go. All right. So I unpacked everything step by step. So from the basic definitions to the actionable insights. I'm hoping that you get a little bit out of it, that you pursue some of these. I didn't give you everything. Again, critical thinking skills, research skills. These are all valuable insights, right? So take what I've given to you. I don't expect you to believe it. Do some research, confirm what I've given you, and then start practicing, right? Even if our chat is like non-existent today, that's okay. Every reflection builds on your critical thinking muscle. My invitation is to revisit these ideas and consider how you can integrate them into your daily decisions. You might want to rewatch challenging segments, especially the ones where I kind of battled in between really important points. But the keep a journal and insights strategies, right? Engage with the future content by reflecting on how reason can improve leadership, work, and gaming. Next time, we're going to explore how reasoned approaches influence ethical decision making in real world scenarios. I think so. Let me verify that. Let's sudo. That's not. I went to the wrong one. Now my browser's trying to load. Okay, so today was cognitive biases and decision making. Episode 4 or 97. The role of reason in leadership and work. How critical thinking fuels success. So that's what we'll get into tomorrow, 8 o'clock. That way, and I'll put an X post out there so you have a good at least an outline of what we'll talk about tomorrow night. With all that said, we've spent a good 2 hours on this subject, and I think it's well worth every minute of me trying to convey the importance of critical thinking and breaking it down into the components that I did. I hope you did too. I hope you found it. And if you didn't find it helpful, let me know how I can improve. I'm always looking into it to improve. My philosophy with mistakes is we make them. If we didn't make mistakes, we wouldn't be able to improve. Not near as much, right? So thank you for spending these 2 hours with me. And if you found this episode valuable, please like, subscribe, and share. And stay curious and keep questioning everything, even the things you don't think you should or that have now become routine. With all that said, let's end it there. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a good night. Have a good day. Wherever you are, be safe.
With every step, a lesson learned. From fire's heat to the fields I've turned. The blade and bow, the forge and flame. I sharpen my skills, I play the game. Each day brings a challenge I must face. I train my hands with careful grace. From alchemy's art to the hunter's way, I'll find the strength to seize the day. I carve my path, I walk the line, in the shadow of the ancient sign. Through trial and toil, I'll find my way, learning more with each passing day. The skill of survival, the will to thrive, in a world where the strong survive. I face the night, I'll take the chance. I'm ready to fight, to learn to dance. For every strike and every fall, I'm building my strength, I'm standing tall. In the heart of the wild and the calm of the night, I gather my skills, I'm ready to fight. From the herbs I find to the iron I mold, each lesson learned is a story told. The stars above, they guide my hand. As I hone my craft, I take my stand. In the quiet woods, in the mountains chill, I push myself, I shape my will. With each new tool and every lore, I'm stronger now than I was before. I carve my path, I walk the line, in the shadow of the ancient sign. Through trial and toil, I'll find my way, learning more with each passing day. The skill of survival, the will to thrive, in a world where the strong survive. I face the night, I'll take the chance. I'm ready to fight, to learn to dance. For every strike and every fall, I'm building my strength, I'm standing tall. In the heart of the wild and the calm of the night, I gather my skills, I'm ready to fight. The road is long, but I won't turn back. The lessons I learned keep me on track. With each new skill, the stronger I grow. In the face of the storm, I let my courage show. I've tasted defeat, I felt the sting, but I rise again with each new spring. For knowledge is power, and wisdom the key. I'm forging my path, I'm breaking free. The skill of survival, the will to thrive, in a world where the strong survive. I'll face the night, I'll take the chance. I'm ready to fight, to learn to dance. For every strike and every fall, I'm building my strength, I'm standing tall. In the heart of the wild and the calm of the night, I gather my skills, I'm ready to fight.